Everybody know what's up with me, cuz. I don't need no nothing. Ho, I'm finna fire your ass up on my kids. You going to be thick tomorrow. I'ma shoot up every car. You better hide it. I mean it. I mean it. Ho, I got enough shots for everybody, ho. I got enough for everybody, ho. I got you. On my kids, I got you. One in the head, gonna stay in the head. I'm going to kill you. I don't give a fuck about shit, motherfucker. Trying to ho, you ugly, fat, slow ass. I couldn't wait till you cheat. Thick. I should have been cheated on you. I should have been cheated on you. Slow ass. You a slow, fat ass, Charlie Wilson looking ass nigga. I ain't never in my life seen no Willie Clay looking ass nigga like you. Stupid ass. I hate you. I hate everything about you. Like Jennings looking ass. I hate you. I really do. The fuck? I really do, ho. And when I catch you, there's nothing can't nobody tell me.
A woman goes live on Facebook, threatening to shoot her husband dead. 2 weeks later, he's lying on the pavement, bleeding out from a gunshot wound. But here's the thing. She didn't pull the trigger. Someone else did. So was this karma, coincidence, or something darker? Before we dive into this case, if you're new here, welcome to CrimeLab Report. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss our deep dives into the most shocking true crime cases. Now, let's talk about what happened in Memphis, Tennessee, in January 2026. This is a story of Rodriguez Poplar and his wife, Sheila, a story that's got social media buzzing and people asking some really uncomfortable questions about relationships, violence, and the power of words. January 9th, 2026. It's early Friday morning in the Fraser neighborhood of Memphis. Rodriguez Poplar and Sheila Booker are driving through the streets. Now, their car has some issues, a broken headlight and expired tags. Not the kind of thing you want when you're trying to avoid police attention. So when they spot police nearby, they make a quick decision. They pull into a random driveway on North Trezevant Street, hoping to stay out of sight until the coast is clear. But this isn't just any driveway. It belongs to a man named Tommy Lee Applewhite, and Tommy doesn't take kindly to strangers on his property. According to Sheila's account, Tommy comes out of his house armed with a weapon. He walks up to the car and points it right at Sheila's face, demanding they leave immediately. Can you imagine that? You're sitting in a car, trying to avoid a traffic stop, and suddenly there's a weapon in your face. Rodriguez, seeing his wife in danger, does what a lot of people might do in that moment. He gets out of the car. He's trying to protect Sheila, trying to calm the situation down, trying to explain that they mean no harm. But Tommy isn't hearing it. Within moments, he fires. The shot hits Rodriguez in the stomach. Sheila says that after shooting her husband, Tommy turned the weapon on her and said, "You next?" Police arrive within a minute. They find Tommy still holding the weapon and Rodriguez bleeding on the ground. Paramedics rush Rodriguez to the hospital, but his injuries are too severe. He dies from that gunshot wound. Just like that, over a misunderstanding in a driveway, a man loses his life.
Even though we was on bad terms and we was just getting on good terms, bro, you took my husband away from me and my face. You saw my baby. You saw my baby, bro. Why you do that for? Why you do that for? Why? Why?
Tommy Lee Applewhite is arrested and charged with second-degree murder, aggravated assault, being a convicted felon in possession of a weapon, and using a weapon during a dangerous felony. Turns out Tommy has quite the history. Court records show he's been in trouble since 2001, and back in 2007, he was convicted of attempted murder for shooting someone twice at an apartment complex. At the time of Rodriguez's death, Tommy was on active probation for a 2022 weapons charge. This man should not have had access to a weapon, but he did, and now Rodriguez is dead. So that's the basic story, right? Wrong place, wrong time. A trigger-happy homeowner with a criminal past and a tragic death. But here's where things get really complicated, really messy, and honestly, really disturbing. Let's rewind 2 weeks before Rodriguez was shot. Sheila Booker goes live on Facebook, and what she says during that live stream is shocking. We're talking about a woman who is absolutely enraged at her husband. She's yelling, cursing, making threats that are hard to listen to. And I'm going to tell you what she said because it's important to understand the full picture here. In that live video, Sheila is screaming about Rodriguez. She says, and I'm paraphrasing to keep this appropriate, that she's going to end his life tomorrow. She says she's going to shoot up every car. She tells him to hide. She says she has enough shots for everyone. She specifically says she's going to shoot him in the head and that he's going to die. She says she doesn't care about anything because, according to her, he tried to harm her first. But it doesn't stop there. She goes on this long rant calling him names, saying she hates him, that she hates everything about him. She says she should have cheated on him. She compares him to various people in insulting ways. And then she makes it clear that no matter where he is, whether he's at Taco Bell in the drive-thru or anywhere else, she's coming for him. This isn't just venting. This isn't just someone blowing off steam after an argument. These are direct, specific, violent threats against her husband's life. Threats that include weapons. Threats that include a timeline. Threats that include locations. The kind of threats that, in other circumstances, might get someone a visit from law enforcement. Now, according to the context around that video, Sheila was upset because Rodriguez had allegedly been cheating on her and had shot at her car. So she felt wronged. She felt betrayed. She felt attacked. And in her anger, she went live and said things that you can never take back. Fast forward 2 weeks. Rodriguez is dead from a gunshot wound. Not from Sheila's hand, but dead nonetheless. And this is where the internet lost its mind. People who had watched that live video 2 weeks earlier were now watching Sheila do interviews with the news as the grieving widow. They were watching her go live on Facebook again, but this time she's crying. She's talking about her loss. She's asking for support. And here's the part that really set people off. During one of these lives, Sheila asked viewers to send her stars. For those who don't know, stars is Facebook's monetization feature. Content creators ask for stars, and they earn money from them. In her own words, she said, "You can support me by sending stars. Stars help me earn money to make more content." Make more content. About what? About her husband's death? The husband she had threatened to kill just 2 weeks earlier? The comments started rolling in, and they were brutal. People were saying she was in grief. So why is she on Facebook going live? Others were saying she's trying to profit off her husband's death. Some were bringing up that old video, the one where she made all those threats, and they were calling it karma. They were saying the tongue is powerful, that she spoke death over her husband, and now he's dead. One comment that really captures the sentiment said something about karma and misunderstandings. The idea being that Sheila had wished violence on Rodriguez, and then he ended up dying violently, but over something completely unrelated, a random driveway confrontation that had nothing to do with their marriage problems. But let's really look at Sheila for a moment, because she's at the center of this entire controversy. Here's a woman who was clearly in a troubled, possibly violent relationship. She claimed Rodriguez cheated on her and shot her car. If that's true, she was dealing with betrayal and actual violence directed at her. That kind of trauma can make people say things they don't mean. It can push people to their breaking point. When you're scared, hurt, and angry, you might lash out in ways that don't reflect who you really are. On the other hand, those threats she made were incredibly specific and violent. She didn't just say she was angry. She detailed exactly how she would harm him. She talked about weapons, about timing, about hunting him down wherever he went. That goes beyond normal anger. That sounds like someone who, in that moment, genuinely wanted to hurt her husband. So when Rodriguez actually dies, what goes through Sheila's mind? Is it grief? Is it guilt? Is it relief? Is it all those things tangled up together? We don't know because we can't see inside her head. What we do know is that she chose to be very public about his death. She did news interviews telling her side of what happened that night. She went live on Facebook multiple times. And yes, She asked for financial support through stars. Now, some people defended her. They said everyone grieves differently. They said she has bills to pay, maybe funeral costs, maybe she lost income with Rodriguez gone. They said social media is where people turn for support nowadays. And there's nothing wrong with that. One commenter specifically said, everybody grieved differently because whatever you do is cool. But others weren't buying it. They saw someone who had publicly threatened violence against her husband now, playing the grieving widow role. They saw someone asking for money and calling her husband's death content. One person commented asking why she wants people to add her on Facebook and why she won't get off her page. Another asked what she's really after, views or genuine support. The divide in public opinion shows something important. We live in a world where everything is documented. That Facebook lived from 2 weeks before Rodriguez's death doesn't just disappear. It's out there. It's been screened, recorded, transcribed, shared thousands of times. So when Sheila's narrative shift from wanting her husband dead to mourning his death, people notice. They remember. And they question whether her grief is real. Here's another layer to consider. Sheila was there when Rodriguez died. She watched Tommy Applewhite shoot her husband. She heard him say, "You next," while pointing a weapon at her face. That's traumatic. That's the kind of thing that haunts you forever. No matter what problem she had with Rodriguez, no matter what she said in anger 2 weeks earlier, watch him die like that is something else entirely. Trauma doesn't care about your previous feelings. It just hits you. But the public doesn't always have room for that complexity. They see the threats, they see the death, they see the monetization, and they draw a straight line between all of it. They're not thinking about domestic violence dynamics. They're not thinking about complex grief. They're thinking about what looks bad, and to a lot of people, this looks really bad. Sheila's story raises questions about so many things. About how we treat domestic violence victims who aren't perfect. About whether someone can threaten violence and still be a genuine victim later. About social media and grief, and whether it's okay to monetize tragedy. About the words we speak, and whether they have power beyond just sound waves. As for Tommy Lee Applewhite, he's sitting in jail without bond, facing second-degree murder charges. His criminal history shows a pattern of violence. He shot Rodriguez over a driveway misunderstanding, something that could have been resolved with a conversation. Instead, a man is dead. So here are the questions I want to leave you with. Can someone who threatened to kill their spouse genuinely grieve when that spouse dies, even if they didn't cause a death? Does saying violent things make you responsible when violence actually happens, even if you weren't involved? Is it wrong to seek financial support after a tragedy when you were publicly hostile to that person just weeks before? And finally, what does this case tell us about the difference between being a victim and being innocent? Because sometimes people are both, and sometimes the line isn't clear. This case isn't simple. It's messy and uncomfortable and raises questions nobody really wants to answer. But that's what we do here at CrimeLab Report. We look at the cases that make us think, that challenge us, that show the complicated reality of crime and relationships and human nature. What do you think about Sheila Booker? Is she a grieving widow or something else? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this case got you thinking, make sure you like this video, subscribe to CrimeLab Report, and share this with someone who loves true crime as much as you do. We've got more cases coming your way, so hit that bell icon and stay tuned.